felt like if I could fix Gil's problem, or if he could get his problem fixed, that everything would be wonderful in our marriage. And the Insight group showed me right away that to look at myself, that it was not his problem, it was our problems. And to realize that I had brought a lot of baggage into our marriage that I had not even been aware of. And I had some life-controlling problems, such as fear and anger, a lot of anger, and I needed to get off that roller coaster ride that I was on.
When someone we love is in the grip of a harmful substance, behavior, or relationship, we naturally want to help. However, sometimes our best-intentioned efforts do more harm than good. Both of us reach a dead end, with seemingly no way out.
If I catch you with that stuff in this house again, you're gonna find yourself—
Don't! Now let's just talk about this a minute. Now I'm sure Cameron understands the seriousness of this.
This mother is trying to rescue her son from the consequences of his drug use. But by protecting him from responsibility, she's making it easier for him to spiral further downward into drug addiction. This dynamic is called enabling. There are many positive meanings to enabling, but here it's a negative term. Enabling is anything that stands in the way of or softens the natural consequences of another person's behavior. Proverbs 19:19 says, "A hot-tempered man must pay the penalty. If you rescue him, you'll have to do it again." By trying to rescue her son from the consequences of his drug use, this mother is setting herself up to have to rescue him again and again.
And finally came the day when I found a lot of marijuana in his room. And so I knew he had been using, and I confronted him with it. And of course it was somebody else's. I'm holding it for somebody, and I'm doing that. So I think it was on that day I decided that this had not been an out-and-out war on our part. We were just kind of on the fringe of watching it. So I think I decided that this really had to be handled. I did some very underhanded things. I put a tap on his phone. I borrowed people's cars and I followed him everywhere he went. I was going to save him. That was my life. That was my absolute life, was I was going to save Chris.
You wanna know what you can do with your rules? You little jerk! If I catch you with that stuff—
The father is also enabling his son's addiction. Most of the time, he's disengaged from his son's life, completely absorbed in his work. Cameron can't get his dad's attention any other way, but using drugs sure seems to be working. Part of him actually enjoys making his dad lose control. There's nothing in this explosion of rage that will influence Cameron away from drugs. By the way, it's not only drug addicts who have enablers. This mom is making it possible for her husband to be addicted to his work. They are consciously encouraging their daughter to be perfect and unconsciously encouraging her to be thin.
When I first came back from Vietnam, somebody had spoke to me about adrenaline issues, being addicted to adrenaline. For me, it was getting into dangerous sports. I always wanted to live on the edge because I got used to the adrenaline in Vietnam, being pumped up. I didn't get involved with drugs until I came home because I had my own issues. And grief. I didn't have time to grieve over there.
My husband used to smoke pot. I thought that's all it was, just pot, and I thought it was okay. It wasn't. Because it was I should have never tolerated that at all. Because that was just this symptoms or of deeper problems. Because he was doing harder drugs.
I got involved with drugs because the pain was coming up. I had to bury it because I didn't know how to grieve. So I got deeper and deeper into drugs. Then I began to lose my family, my wife.
I would cover up for my husband when he would be sick. He'd say he had the flu. He didn't have the flu. He was just going through some withdrawal symptoms or maybe binges. And he'd want me to call in for him and to the post office to let them know that he wasn't coming in that day because he was sick. And I would do it. I thought he was sick. I thought he had the flu. He didn't have the flu.
But the grief was under there when I came home. And I needed that adrenaline to keep it down. If I didn't have the adrenaline to keep it down, it would come up and hurt me. So I had to build this wall.
Al had the life-controlling problem of drug abuse, yes. But I had the life-controlling problem of codependency. And I still struggle with that sometimes. I fall back into that. Because when I was little, when I was 12, I lost my mother. And I took over. I took over being the mom and taking care of my brothers and sisters because my brother was 5 and my sister was 9.
I don't think I realized the war was going to be so hard to fight. I just thought I'd get a handle on it and we'd deal with it, we'd bring it out into the open, we'd say no